The Nighthawks were a hockey team that played in New Haven up until, woo, I got it, up until 1992. This is fun. We met a super fan who wanted to keep the tradition going, so he started Nighthawk Brewing, and that's where Something Brewing is today. We're going to talk to him about it. Jeff Haynes, owner of Nighthawk Brewing. So nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you, Courtney. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. So you said that you started brewing the beer in 2015.
Yes.
And we were talking earlier, you said you used to go to these games when you were a kid.
As a kid, I would go to all the games with my family. We were all big Nighthawk fans. And the story is that when I got older, I decided, oh, you know, it'd be really cool to have a Nighthawk t-shirt, just a simple shirt. And next thing you know, I was talking to a coworker, and he's like, hey, you know what, why don't you go call the AHL, the old American Hockey League, and see if they still have the t-shirts for sale. So I called there, and they told me it's actually a dead trademark. Next thing you know, I have the trademark, and we started talking about doing shirts and hats, and I started hanging out with some people at a local brewery that had just opened, and I was like, hey, I got this trademark. It'd be really cool if we did an old classic style beer with the Nighthawk label on it. We got people all excited about it and did that again. Like, that would just be really neat. And they loved the idea. And next thing you know, we're doing test batches. So like, I kind of came into the beer scene much differently than a lot of other people, where like it wasn't so much brewing beer, it was more like an idea for a beer, and then started kind of doing all these test batches and beers, and it kind of branched out from there.
So your first beer was called Old Time Ale.
It's an old style German beer. It's an amber in color beer. It's got the flavor of an ale, but it kind of mimics a lager in many ways, but it's still considered an ale. And again, it's an old time beer. So old time hockey, old time beer. People seem to like it, so we keep making it. Yeah.
Your next beer that we're going to talk about is one of your best sellers called
Yes.
Nighthawk Light.
Yeah, so Nighthawk Light is our, what happened was a lot of sports fans were like, hey, you know, we drink light beer. And it's like, we like light beer because it's something that you could sip on throughout a game. And I'm like, well, you know, if sports fans drink light beer, we need to make a light beer. It's a cream ale that's very low in calories. It's easy to sip all day. And so that's kind of how we came up with that. And people that go to sports events or like your outdoor picnics, it's like people love that beer.
You also have a stout called Constitution Stout.
Yes, so our Constitution Stout is our first ever collaborative beer. So we did that with Hoax Brewing. I had known that in the past he played around with like a nutmeg beer. And I was like, look, that's where the Constitution Stout should be. Connecticut is the nutmeg state. Let's do something with like one of those like nutmeg type beers. And he put it all together, and we played around with it and tried it, and it came out really great. So yeah, it's a simple oatmeal stout with a hint of nutmeg in it.
And last but not least, your IPA, named after a former hockey player.
Yeah, so this is the one we're really excited about because it's our first beer where we got an old player to kind of jump on board with us, which we hope to kind of keep doing. So this is our Dave Haynesworth Kick Save IPA. So the Dave Haynesworth Kick Save IPA, it's a simple flavored New England IPA. It's a 7% alcohol, so it's a little higher than what we normally do in our alcohol content, but we really liked it, and we wanted it to be something where it was had a little bit of a kick to it. I mean, it's a kick save beer, so that's our first attempt at getting a former player, but hopefully not the last.
We are at Hardhat Cafe in North Haven, so this is one place that you could get your beer on draft.
Yes, the Hardhat in North Haven was nice enough to have us here for a tasting of all of the Nighthawk beers, so I'm very thankful for them to have us. We're at a lot of the local restaurants and ask for us at a local package store. We're pretty much all over the shoreline, so yeah, great.
And we have a beautiful day for it.
Wonderful.
So guys, what are you going to grab? I think I'm going to do the light, if that's okay.
I'll take the IPA.
I'll go for the Constitution Stout.
Some old time.
All right, well, cheers, everyone.
Yeah.
Something's brewing in North
Salud.
Haven, New Haven Nighthawks.